Shorty!
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 Drink beer. Think beer. You're listening to Brew Bloods.
All right, welcome to Brew Bloods, yet another shorty. We've been kind of lazy as of late, not doing full episodes, but
we should be back on track here in the next week or two.
Yeah, between the holidays and vacations and general laziness, it's just been one of those things.
Especially a lot of laziness. That's been the big thing.
Yeah, a lot of lounging back with nothing but underwear on, laying on my my fainting couch.
But we normally have that. I mean, that's our normal attire for every episode.
Right, it's normally how we record. Just nipple tassels and boxers.
Usually have just little parts sticking out, you know. It's a little awkward.
Get a little bit.
Little brain coming out.
Just gently poking out.
Right.
No, not
tastefully, but
not at full mast.
Right.
Just, I mean,
it's tasteful hanging.
Tasteful hanging, exactly. So it's got a little hat on it.
That's why we don't do a video version of this.
Maybe we should.
Maybe
we get a lot more.
If you'd
downloads.
like one, let us know. But yeah,
we'll do a video podcast of it. We are at Good Friend today in East Dallas. It's one of our.
Hence the background noise and music and everything.
It's one of our favorites local eateries. They were kind of when they come around 2011, 2012.
Yeah, I believe so.
Right around the time.
I'm honestly not exactly sure because I know they've been here a couple years before we moved down here, and
that was.
We've been down here since 2013.
Okay, so it was 2011, 2012.
Yeah, I was going to say, this area used to be a little shady.
Yeah.
There was a taco joint called Good to Go that was around here, and then that was the first kind of normal business that was down here.
But before that, it was a prostitution hub and heroin and meth hub.
Well, Good to Go has since closed, and they touted in their article that they were the first owner out of 3 that did not get shot and killed. So that tells you what was over. I believe it was some kind of biker bar or something before that was a little shady.
Yeah.
But this is definitely gentrified since then.
Yeah, it is. Maybe we can own it next, and we'll be the next one to get shot and killed.
Yeah.
Good to go.
Absolutely.
So Good Friends kind of came along at the, really when the craft beer movement started in Dallas, the craft beer revolution in Dallas. They came along about the same time.
It was still kind of in its infancy, the local scene, but we were starting to get other stuff outside of the state more at that time.
Yeah. And they kind of came in at the exact right time, and I think for a long time it was always super packed, and I think it's kind of leveled out now to where it's like a comfortable crowd level.
Yeah, I mean, you come here Friday, Saturday night, it's still super packed. Most nights during the week, the bar specific, kind of hard to find a seat.
Yeah.
But, you can, like today we're here on a Sunday, there's a decent amount of open seating, not to diminish that they're not busy.
No.
Busy, but yeah, it's definitely, it's a little more reasonable now.
Yeah, it's easier to find seats on Sundays and stuff. But yeah, we like coming here. They always have a great rotation of local draft beer or craft beer, and they get some rarities from out of the state, like Epic's Big Bag Baptist number 55, which they made with one of our local coffee roasters, Cultivar, who is across the street here,
who is now actually with Good Friend and their new location that they opened up a Good Friend package store, which is kind of a sandwich/breakfast shop with you can buy bottled beer, and inside of there, Cultivar used to be in the before mentioned Good to Go Taco.
Yeah.
Moved across the street, and when I say across the street, it's like a tiny little street.
Yeah.
And they moved over there, and they now have a lot bigger area, and I think that's probably helped the package store as well as Cultivar both.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, maybe Good to Go will return to a prostitution ring now. It'll become
maybe so.
Maybe craft prostitution.
If not them, maybe Garcia's hairstyle next door.
Maybe so. So we thought we'd do a shorty because there's a rarity. We've talked about this one before when went to Big Texas. I think our first year. We were so hammered at that.
It's hard to remember because we also did, that was the Drunken Interviews. That's the one Michael Patacolis likes to reference. We also
it was the same
Beat Down Win Bims from Lakewood. So that wasn't our best review. I think this will be a little bit better review because we actually have some sobriety going into this.
We're coming off a 12-step program. That's really why we've been so lazy.
Right. That was supposed to be for off.
Yeah. Well,
that was going to be our tell-all book.
Brew Bloods behind the scenes.
Hanging Brain, My Road to Sobriety.
The liver failure years.
Right.
We're talking about Franconia's Ice Bock, and I know we haven't formally covered Franconia, but deal with it.
We've covered Franconia before,
but not in our usual formal tuxedoed manner.
I think the most formal we got was a face-off of Oktoberfest beers.
Oh, that's right.
Maybe a year before last.
I think you're right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So we did cover their Oktoberfest. But
okay, screw me.
Yeah. So that was kind of an official covering. We haven't done an isolated Franconia episode yet.
Right. Maybe we will down the line.
But this kind of is one.
This is their Eisbock, and it's a powerful beer, to say the least. They only pour this in 5 ounces. And they only make this, do they make this once a year, or is it they make it every other year?
Not even once a year. It depends on when the first freeze hits. So, for example, the end of 2015, when we had like the most mild winter of all time, he didn't make it at all because it wasn't cold enough. But anytime it does get cold enough, he literally puts this outside and packs it in ice and lets it go from there. And, this thing is sitting at a nice whopping 27%. So.
Yeah, which is far above the usual Eisbock. So the way Eisbocks work is when they go into fermentation, they actually pack it in ice near the end of the fermentation process. And then what happens is the ice crystals start to form and they drain off the liquid, because obviously alcohol doesn't freeze that fast, but the water does.
Right.
And so they drain it off and obviously becomes thicker, and then the alcohol becomes more concentrated. But I think the norm, at least according to the German Beer Institute, is around 10%.
Right.
So 27% is...
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's quite a kicker. And on top of that, Franconia themselves, they make one beer, the Triple Dunkel, that is, I believe, around 10-11%. Outside of that, their normal stuff is probably 4 to 6% anyway. Right. They're not really a high ABV brewery. They're a very standard German brewery. They're known really for their wheat beer and their regular Dunkel. That's probably their two. I'd say the regular Dunkel's probably their most popular, and then their wheat beer is a close second. Mark and I both like their Triple Dunkel better. Right. It's a little boozier and a little, it's better for our scarred livers. Actually gives us more of an effect. But I just, beyond that, I actually think it's tastier than their regular,
I agree.
The regular Dunkel. But this is by far, I would say this is the most powerful beer in the market.
I
don't think anybody gets this close.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is that level. It might as well be liquor at that point.
It really is.
It's around the ABV of like a cordial.
It really is.
Actually, probably more powerful than a lot of cordials.
Yeah, I would agree.
So this beer can be made, Eisbock can be made with ale or lager yeast. In this case, it's an ale. They're using wheat specifically.
Yep.
And so this is a wheat Eisbock. It is, as expected, to be pitch black.
Oh, yeah.
And again, these are in tiny little 5-ounce glasses because...
27%, they can't give you a 20-ounce pour of that.
I wonder if that's a legal requirement from TABC or if that's just them playing on the safe side.
I could see it either way. I bet it's a TABC thing, but I could also see a good friend being like, rather not have everyone super drunk that's having 27% beers.
I'm honestly surprised we're able to sell this in the state.
Yeah, that's true.
Considering how stupid we are.
Now, this is, Franconia is located in McKinney, a little suburb. It's probably, I guess they're a third tier, fourth tier suburb? At least third, maybe fourth.
At least third, yeah. Plano being a first tier.
Yeah. Richardson being first tier and Plano second tier, maybe. I don't know. It's close.
Plano's first tier.
Are they?
Let's rank all the suburbs.
Okay. Well, Allen's second tier.
We're not going to review the beer. We're going to rank the Dallas suburbs.
So you at least have to go through 3 suburbs to get to McKinney if you're driving up 75. Right. So I'm going to call them a fourth tier.
And I would say they're third. I would say Allen's a fourth tier, but whatever.
Well, proximity from Dallas is the tiering I'm going with.
We're not cutting the tree. We're not counting the tree rings here.
That's what I'm doing. I think you count tiers based on how far they are from the center, not based on quality.
I think you have to base it on quality and size.
But anyway, quality, yes, they're probably at least a second, if not a first. McKinney's a good suburb.
So where does Sherman fall in your rankings?
Oh, they're like a 12th tier. But suburb tiers aside, McKinney is a good distance from Dallas, yet this is the only place you can get this Eisbock right now. It's the last keg they had. I think the only reason it's lasted a couple of weeks is because they serve such small pours.
Yeah.
But yeah, even Franconia's promoted it. Come on down and try this out. And I don't know if people are scared of the 27%.
Probably.
Which I could understand. You might be like, well, that's a lot, but that's what we're here for. We're here to taste the adventurous beers.
That's right. It's pitch black, and you can't see. I mean, it's like oil.
Oh yeah.
Just looking at it, I mean, it has kind of the viscosity of oil too. It's real thick. I mean, it's not as thick as car oil, but it's, for a beer, it looks super thick.
There is no head on it, which could be the glass, who knows, but there's no head on this one at all, really. There's like a little slight kind of tan ring, but that's about it. Yeah,
the glasses they gave us, these little 5-ouncers, they got like a little bump, like like a Guinness glass almost, except they've got the bump in the middle, so it almost makes it look like a rigid female pleasure device.
It kind of is, yeah. It's about that size, yeah.
It could definitely be used for your pleasure.
Right, exactly.
Not just for her pleasure, but either of your pleasure.
Oh, hey.
Just depending on...
Wherever you get pleasure.
Yes, whatever.
If a rigid device gives you pleasure, it could be used by either sex. That's no judgment here.
Yeah. Smell-wise, very malty.
Malty with some booze on there, for sure.
Oh, yeah, the booze is definitely there.
Which, of course, it's hard to hide 27%.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how well it gets hidden in this beer, because I would expect, I mean, you think about Brewdog's Tokyo that we had, where it was really boozy, and that was 12%, I think, or 13%? I
think it's more like 16. But
was it 16?
Yeah.
Okay.
But still, I mean, that's, 10 percentage points less.
Yeah, that was really boozy, though.
Right.
It's really thick on the mouth. That's what she said.
Yeah. Yeah, it's thick mouthfeel, coats the tongue.
Very, very coating.
It's kind of malty, like you said. I think it's got a malty sweet flavor to it. A little alcohol flavor to it also, but not as much as you would think for 27%.
Really, the alcohol there is really on the back of the tongue. It's like you would expect at 27%. You're drinking like something like Jameson.
Right, yeah.
Or something like that, something inflammatory.
Absolutely, yeah.
But this is not, at least taste-wise, not combustible. Now, if I were to take a match to this beer, it might explode my hand.
I don't think there's any doubt about that.
It could be like the Flaming Homer or whatever it was in The Simpsons.
Right, yeah.
Or locally, the Flaming Dr. Pepper.
Absolutely. It's like the Nectar of the Gods from Shameless, which is a reference no one gets.
It's got a lot of honey notes to it. A lot of honey there. Very, very sweet.
It is. It's very sweet.
It's almost, it kind of reminds me of like a brandy after dinner or something, something fancy. It reminds me of like an after dinner drink.
To me, it's almost got like a thick cola taste to it. Like it's almost cola sweet in some ways.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of port wine.
Yeah, yeah.
In a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Very, very thick. It's got almost that same consistency as port, which I don't usually prefer because port to me is generally too sweet.
Yeah, I would agree.
I'm not really a dessert wine fan at all.
Mm-hmm.
Although I do enjoy a dessert beer once in a while, but not generally.
Sure, every now and again,
wine.
yeah.
But yeah, right. It definitely reminds me of port in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, but it's really smooth. It's not. It's kind of thick on the tongue, but it's not. It's definitely not drying at all.
Yeah.
It's like I said, it's smooth. I think you could probably drink. If you could get it, you could probably drink a 20 ounce of this, and you might feel a little full. Yeah. But it's not. I don't know. I don't think it's something that if you had a couple of these, other than the fact it's 27%, you would feel too bloated or anything on it. It's a lot smoother than I expected, actually.
Yeah. It's got a little bitterness to it, but it's not from hops. I think it's from the alcohol.
Yeah.
It's really. Like, the alcohol's there, it's definitely in the back of the tongue, and it's really present in the back of the tongue, but it's not, like, overpowering.
It's not.
Which is quite the accomplishment, I have to say. It's a really well-rounded beer.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
So, ratings.
Well, I guess I can go first. For me, the thing I expected this to be the closest to, I know it's not the same style. This is wheat-based, and Dunkel is not. Well, yeah, Dunkel is not the same kind of wheat base that they're using here. But I kind of expected this to be in the family of the Triple Dunkel. And, like we said before, that's probably my favorite regular Franconia beer. They also make a great double IPA when they make it, but it's one of the smoothest double IPAs I've ever had. But, yeah, their Triple Dunkel's really good. And I think this is kind of similar to that. It's not... This is boozier and sweeter than that, and it probably has to be sweeter than that with all the booze. But so that was kind of my expectation coming into this, something that I would like about on that level. And I think it did deliver. I don't really have any complaints about it. I don't really think I'd change much about it, given, maybe you could take a little bitterness off, but I don't know that there's much you can do about that once you have this level of alcohol.
Yeah, I don't know how you do that either.
So for me, I would give this one 4.25 out of 5.
Yeah, I'm going to call this beer because appropriately so. Bob's Big Boy got a nice round belly on it. It's a really well-rounded beer, and it's big and bold. And I'm very happy that they were able to mask the alcohol so well. Like I said, you really get it on the back of the tongue. It's really more of an aftertaste than anything else. Up front, it's thick, a lot of honey in there, maybe molasses. Like I said, it reminds me of a port wine. So if you enjoy port wine, you're probably going to enjoy this if you can find it. I know this is hyper local, and unless you're in Dallas, you're not going to have a chance to get this. But if you ever have a chance to, I would highly recommend it. And I think it's a very accomplished beer, and I think Dennis should be proud of himself for this. I'm going to give this one a 4.5 out of 5.
Oh, nice.
All right, well, we'll catch you guys on the next episode. We we are going to finally get back in the regular rotation of things. Hopefully, we've got an opportunity coming up this Wednesday with Breckenridge. I know they're big beer now, but they used to be a craft brewery.
Yeah.
And so we're going to hopefully get a chance to talk to them. They're going to be in town doing some big event.
Absolutely.
So we're going to talk to their Culture Czar or something like that.
Culture Czar, yes.
Culture Czar.
You can tell they're big beer when they have a Culture Czar.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing.
I think his name is Tebow, and I don't think it's Tim Tebow, but we won't know until we get there.
Right, absolutely.
All right, we'll catch you guys on the next episode of Brew Bloods. Probst.